Welcome back. In this video, we will touch on general ledger and chart of accounts. Whenever we set up a company, they will ask you for an industry. In our case, you can set up generic accounts, and Sage 50 will set up a chart of accounts, a list of accounts for you that you can modify, add, or remove. Before we get started, let's take a look at some of the basics. Remember when we spoke about the balance sheet? We touched upon assets, liabilities, and equity. Then we looked at revenues and expenses. It's very important to look at these different categories because they will be the headers of your list of accounts. Just to make sure that you understand well, assets are all of the resources that you own. It can be land, equipment, cars, anything that you have purchased that you own. Liabilities is everything that you owe. If you're using a credit card to buy a car, then you have a liability. Equity is anything that you no longer own, which is the capital. Therefore, if you've saved money in the bank account that you're using to buy a car, this would be equity. Revenues is anything that you sold and in return has received money. So if you were able to create a lemonade stand and you were selling lemonade, then any type of money that you receive is considered revenue from selling the lemonade. Expense, on the other hand, would be how much you use in order to create this cup of lemonade juice. Therefore, expenses can be lemons, sugar, and water. However, there is a subsection to expenses. So, for example, COGS, which is cost of goods sold, the cost of your lemonade is lemon, sugar, water, cup. These are the cost of goods sold. However, there's also labor. Labor is not the cost of the goods sold, it's not material, but it is considered expense because you need to spend your time and you need to pay labor. So, by understanding these 5 different pieces, they will become the main headers of your charts of account. On Sage 50, if you were to create an assets account, then you would choose a number between 1000 to 1999. On Sage 50, you have to be aware of these abbreviations: a subgroup total, a header. Therefore, the 5 assets, liability, equity, revenue, and expenses will be headers, and you have different totals. Anything else that is unmarked is considered a group account, which is G. Let me give you an example. The current assets is therefore an H because it is a header. Under assets, you have sub-accounts. If you have the sub-account totals, therefore S, the total of all your current assets. Since account receivable and purchase prepayments are not grouped, they are considered G, and therefore you have the big total of total current assets, which is T. The Snow Company has a much more elaborate chart of accounts because there's a lot of information going on. You can see that H is for header, therefore current assets, and you have the entire list of all current assets. Current assets include any type of cash, any type of quick money that you are about to receive, or supplies. Therefore, you have your total, which is total current assets. You can have inventory, plant and equipment, which is all considered assets, right? Things that you own. And on the other side, you can have current liabilities, things that you owe people. So credit cards, account payable, vacation payable, which is owed to the employees. And this should give you the total current liabilities. You can also have equity as a heading, revenue from the sales, from the repairs, from the snow removal, which is all services and products that they offer. And finally, expenses, everything that was used in order to create these products and sell. You see here, this is COGS, cost of goods sold. If they bought a shovel for $10, this was the cost of goods sold. And if they sold it for $15, then the $5 is income. Now we will go on to Sage 50 and take a look at these accounts to verify them, to modify them, and see how you can change them. On Sage 50, in order to see your chart of account, click on Company and click on Chart of Accounts, which is View Account, Add Account, Modify Account. So we will view accounts. You will see the list of all of the accounts over here, including the balances. Every single time an invoice is being made or money is being received, these accounts are affected. In order to modify these, you can go to Setup Guide. So go to Setup Guide, Accounts, and you can easily change the information. So therefore, make sure to verify that every single account is okay. Inventory, plant, and the grouping is heading, which is H. Take a couple of minutes and go through the entire account to ensure that all the information is correct. If at any point you would like to create an account, click Add and you will be given this menu. If I would like to create a certain asset, so a current asset, remember the number is from 1000 to 1999, I have to come up with a number, a unique identification number. Since it's not current asset, is not a group heading, it's a subgroup account. I will click on this class option. It'll be assets. And once you're done, click save and close or create another. I will therefore find my assets. So if you were to add it, then it would appear here. If I would like to take out an account, which is the one that I just created over here, I can simply click on the account and remove account. Are you sure we want to remove assets? Special? Yes. Therefore, I have removed my account. Once again, in order to look at charts of accounts, you can click on Report Center, and the balance sheet will give you the most important information within the reports of your charts of accounts, which in this case, current asset, inventory, plant equipment, current liabilities, equity. I therefore see another timestamp of the balance sheet. You can also generate an income statement, and you have an income statement. Since this is all zero, it's because you're in one day. Therefore, you may want to have a range of time for it to generate an income statement. So you see revenue, expenses, and therefore you have the income statement from the range of February 1st to February 15th. Play around with it and try to see what interests you. There are many, many combinations and many reports available. So this is it for chart of accounts and how to generate balance sheet and income statement. Let's talk about challenge 3. In the next session, you will be given a task, which is the body art case part 2. You've already done the body art case part 1. Make sure to understand your material to have practice with Sage 50 before you attempt the challenge. This is it for lesson 3. I hope you will have a great week. Practice, have fun, and just enjoy this course. If you have any questions, feel free to message me.